So what is happy free for tonight?
Just talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Um,
It's a free form kind of joint.
we're gonna talk about sexual harassment. What we dealing with?
I can't believe I even know how to be recorded.
Actually, alone.
Yeah, yeah, be beautiful.
Hello and good night.
I can't take it.
It is another beautiful Tuesday evening, and we are right here and ready to start the Talk the Ting show. I apologize for the slightly tardy start, angular time, but we are here, we are ready, we're feeling good, we're getting ready. We have an amazing show for you here tonight. We have two guests. We usually have one, but we got two guests. Excited, we doubling up. And not only do we have two guests, but we have two female guests. I know a lot of people have been complaining that we are not getting the young females' objectives on items, and today we are meeting those needs.
So that means I have been biased.
We've been biased, yeah.
Now
We diversifying a bit, and we could not find two better young ladies to come here and talk than Terraine and Latonya Musselton. How you girls doing tonight?
Good, feeling good.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm alright. You alright?
I'm alright too, yeah. No one ever asked me if I'm alright. Thank you for that. I broke my toe today, that just that little question make me feel better. And we had the hours present. Akiola, he dealing with some pizza right now, but he's alright here. He's in good moods. He's ready for the discussions tonight. We're gonna have a good time. We got the sounds of the battle of the bands in the background. They're testing out their songs and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be happening later. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But we're gonna jump right into the show. So Terraine, tell us a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Well, my name is Terraine Webster. 24 years old.
You're from Marine Harbor, obviously. You could hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
As raw as it could be.
That's always the case.
You're the president of the One Anguilla Youth?
Oh no.
Yeah, the active president of One Anguilla Youth. And then we have Latonya. Is she from the East too?
Oh, we got Valda.
Valda. Oh yeah, we got a tall one.
I know,
See
right?
that? We got a joke.
The women, man.
Yeah, when you get a joke, all of a sudden it's just a rain for days. That's the Anguilla way.
Yeah.
We got the days. Oh yeah. So we got Latonya. You were Ann Harbor. Ann Harbor thing too.
Harbor thing, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Harbor people we got a hard, strong love for them.
I know we special that.
Yeah, special in all kind of ways. Alright, so you guys so introduce yourself a little bit. You're the secretary for the One Anguilla Youth. How is that doing? Talking to the mic, yeah, don't be shy. I know you got a loud mouth outside of the thing, so let it be heard here too. Let it be heard here.
It's going pretty well. We have a lot of good ideas, so I'm glad to be part of the core team.
It's a good thing that you guys are doing. We're always excited to have young persons doing interesting things, especially inside of these sort of ways. And now, Bella, just a little bit late to the party, but we are all welcome. You want to introduce yourself? You doing good?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm also part of the One Anguilla Youth.
Talking to the mic, please. Talking to the mic.
Yeah, to get into it.
So I was saying good night, everybody. I'm Valda. I'm doing well. I'm part of the One Anguilla Youth as well.
Yep.
We are so happy to have all of you guys here today. We have a lot of things.
Where you from?
Yeah, where you from?
I'm from Stinagrang.
What area is
Angela.
from?
Stinagrang, Angela.
Island Harbor.
Beautiful. We have Island Harbor represented strongly. So for those of you who are listening to us out there in Radio Land, we are also live on Facebook, on YouTube. If you want to tune in, we listen to the comments. Also is the regular number. You can call in. We're going to take calls tonight if you want to be a part of the discussion. We're going to be talking about very interesting topics, and we're going to have a nice, fruitful show. I can feel it. I can feel the energy in the room already. You guys can feel it too?
Of course.
Beautiful.
Of course, we are the energy.
Beautiful. So I want to tell me a little bit more about One Anguilla Youth, sorry. Good night. You want to tell us a little bit about One Anguilla Youth?
Yeah, for sure. So One Anguilla Youth is a movement by young people that is basically invited to share their thoughts on political ideas, political strategies, just bringing new ideas, fresh energy to politics.
That's great. There's not much of a the youngest person that is involved in politics right now is up in the late 30s, right? You don't get a lot of youth representation. Yeah, you don't get a lot of youth representation inside of politics, and I feel as though the youth voice is such an important voice. That's a kind of part of what we try to do here at the TalkDahTing show, sort of get some of the views of the young persons out there. It's so many young persons in Anguilla, you know, they grow up with the young people should be seen and not heard kind of mentality, and we start to see more and more young persons who are starting to voice out and get their opinions heard and stuff, and that's so good.
All that what you're saying right there is the reason why One Anguilla basically start. Just to put all those things back in place, just to give us a voice now.
Yeah, that's such an important thing. Are you guys accepting new members, I'm assuming?
Of course. Yeah.
How would somebody, a young person who's listening right now, say, that sounds like something, that sounds like me, that sounds like something I need to get involved in?
Everybody that's listening, I mean with the youth, you must know somebody that got Instagram, somebody that got Facebook. Like, it's that casual to just join. It's just like send a message, say, yeah, I hear.
So I can send a message to you, I can send a message to Latonya, Valda, any one of you guys.
Anybody that's a part of the One Anguilla movement.
So just send a message, say I'm interested in coming through.
Join us when we have our monthly meetings and catch up.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Have a great time.
I hope you guys are sure to go and check that avenue out. It's a great program, it's a great initiative. It's something that you know we need to start to nurture and make happen this year.
So we definitely make that happen.
Yeah, definitely making it happen. Beautiful, beautiful. Because that's one thing that I've noticed. That's one thing that I've noticed is this, because you know the election season is starting to come up, we starting to see the politicians rear their heads and doing these things and there and go. And one of the things you keep hearing about or talk about is youth. That seems to be one of the buzzwords that they're throwing out there a lot. So it sounds like youth is going to be a big part of this election. So it's good to see you guys starting to organize yourselves and getting formulated on what you guys want and what you guys want to see. What are some of the key things that you at One Anguilla Youth are concerned about that you want to hear them start to talk about?
Wait, before you continue, anybody you want to go ahead? Go ahead and give me your question.
Also, One Anguilla Youth. That's one of those key issues that you're not hearing the politicians talk about that you want to, as youth, see more action and development in. I know that we talked sometimes about maybe something like healthcare or something like that.
Right, but let me you see where does hear the politicians talk about what you don't hear the politicians talk about.
Well, you don't hear about the politicians
talk about. The truth is, you don't hear politicians talk about everything. That's all they do, talk. They don't act. So I could tell you healthcare, I could tell you education. We have heard all of it over and over and over.
But there's no action behind it. Nothing's being done.
So that's one of the big concerns. You don't see you can hear the talk and stuff, but then when it comes to action time, it's not happening. That's one of the dirty things with politicians. That way, so much few people tend to trust politicians here in Anguilla because it's all action. At the end of the day, their job is to get elected. So they're gonna go out and find out what the people want to hear.
But that's why we don't need people that just use it as a job. You need people that's for Anguilla and for the Anguillians.
But how you do that?
If it's just a job, then I really don't care. I'm just going in to collect my money and come back out.
But yeah, how do you do that? Because you know, everybody gonna tell you exactly what you want to hear.
No,
if I want Terraine vote, I know Terraine is concerned about the hospital. Yeah, Terraine, I gonna fix the hospital 100%. But you can't fool you.
When you come to me and ask me for your vote, for my vote, you gotta tell me your strategy right then and there. You talk about a hospital, fine, that sounds great. Looks good on your manifesto, but
how do you go about it?
What is the strategy? How are we going to achieve it? Sit down and tell me, show me the plan.
The plan is key. The plan is everything. They don't hear this want to
but
see a plan.
Nobody coming to me with a plan.
Nobody coming to a plan. Big promises.
Yes, right. Promises straight.
Promises straight.
Listen, the politician basically coming to you to talk and just saying what I just asked. I just hear rambling. I myself can't believe what I saying. But watch it.
I know I'm not wanting to do it. I can just tell she what she want to hear.
No, exactly.
Simple.
What is one of the top things for you that you're listening out? Because as not only as a president, you're a mother.
Right.
You're a person from Ann Harbor. You work inside the legal industry. So you have other concerns that, you know, you are unique to Terraine.
My biggest concern at this point in my life would be health.
Okay, yeah.
Not even just for myself, but like you said, I am a mother. My son just turned 10 months. And even when it's flu season, you're basically praying that them don't catch something because they're not guaranteed they can even be helped. Look at you with your toe here right now.
Exactly. My toe is in crucial pain.
And what you do with that?
So you don't feel confidence in Anguilla's healthcare system?
Yeah, I kind of lose confidence in the Anguilla healthcare system. That my grandmother basically choose to die at home.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have people rather not go to the hospital, know they're sick as dogs and just wouldn't go.
I know a lot of, especially the older person, who just have this strong resentment against Anguilla's hospital. But you gotta ask
We
yourself.
need to stop and really ask ourselves why.
Well, you gotta ask
What's so
yourself.
long?
Another question too is like, no matter how good the hospital is, nobody's gonna like the hospital inside of your country. I remember I used to go to school in Boston, and in Boston we got Boston General, which is widely regarded as the best hospital in the entire world. People come from all over the world just to go there. And I used to ride the bus in Boston Hospital, and I used to listen to the old people talk about, because it was also a teaching hospital, they used to always talk about how they hated going to the hospital because they have students there, and the students there basically going there to kill you and all that kind of stuff. So no matter, yeah, they used to hate that the students used to be working on you, so they used to not want to go. No matter where you go, you're gonna find
You'll
that
find some type of stigma.
Yeah.
you're gonna find something against the hospital. But that being
But
said,
like-
our hospital just, anybody can
people-
see that's
A
not
lot
up
of
to
people are just
standard.
like generally scared of being in the hospital, just for the fear of finding out things that they never knew about. Except that could be deadly, cancer, something like that.
Well,
Then you have the people that just don't want to go because they don't have any faith in the system, or in the staff, or the general population of the hospital. Like,
You know what I found out recently? And I don't know if you guys knew this, but the hospital in Anguilla is privately run.
Completely private.
It's done by another organization, the National Health Service, and I think that's the right thing, NHS. And then they are a private company that they do with their own stuff. It's not directly a government thing. The government has a lot of influence, of course, because the
women got so much influence in using it.
They may using it, yeah. Okay, so if you go to a politician right now, you tell them, if you corner them down, you tell them, like we had Hayden there the other day, we corner them down on some issues, Hayden. And we corner them down some issues. And I like to talk to other politicians that I'll get to. And one of the big things to say is, we would love to do it, We would love to do it. Don't come out of thin air. It needs money. The government has a limited amount of resources.
What are the strategies to get the money?
Exactly.
If we don't ever, if we don't continue saying from 2018 to 2040,
How would you feel? How would you feel about?
we gotta start finding the strategies.
Yeah, we gotta start finding money. How would you feel about a healthcare tax? Let me say it's somewhere in the ballpark of 80 US a year. And with that, you see drastic improvements in Anguilla's hospital system. Is that something that you guys would be
With the
okay
tax?
with the tax?
Of course, it's just now if there's a tax implemented on your health, wherever the tax is implemented, you need transparency.
Yeah,
You
transparency.
need accountability. We don't have those things here.
And you want to see direct results. I don't want you to collect these taxes from
Where are the
somebody else.
reports with the taxes? Where the money being spent?
Exactly. A lack of transparency. That's one of the things, because that was one of the issues.
Our roads, go look at the roads.
Oh, no, you're not the work now. I'm putting some dirt in your potholes.
The potholes, yes.
Sure, the road need a little bit of dirt.
So because that was one of the things. Because I was talking, and I was saying, people in Anguilla, because they don't want to mention the word taxes. Any politician don't want to mention the word taxes because that's never a fun thing. But
It would be fun if we actually get the results.
yeah. But the
We're
thing
not.
is, people in Anguilla are not against taxes.
Right.
They're
But
just
we get the
against
results.
taking the money and then
not doing anything with it.
and then doing the wrong things with it, things that wasn't the money were for.
And
Because
then
they're gonna
just
spend the
us as
money.
a people.
And
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure the generation before this generation that's upcoming right now been saying the same thing. That they're politicians, but I guess nobody's listening. What's going on there?
Yeah, so one of the things also was that we were discussing is the idea of a national health insurance. So a healthcare set. So instead of you having your own insurance company with whoever you got it with, you with everybody, you with everybody, everybody got a government insurance essentially. Like similar to what you have in like Canada or I think parts of England as well. How do you feel about that? Because that comes with a lot of additional benefits.
I don't think I saw that. I saw it in the current administration manifesto.
That they want something like that national.
Yeah, what's the status on it?
I know exactly, but is that something that you would like to see come to fruition?
Of course.
I thought it was
A lot of people.
Listen, when people, like I said, Jabri, when people know they're paying for something and it actually going to what it's supposed to go to, people wouldn't have a problem supporting it.
Because one of the things is like me personally, as a 23-year-old young guy, I don't have insurance. Just cause because one is expensive and I just rolled the dice that I'm young, I ain't supposed to have no health problems.
I know.
Yeah, I just talking
get
to
mashed up.
my toe get mashed up. I ain't even want to go there because I know that's $300-400. I hear walking it off. 2 aspirins and I good.
So then some people.
My hair might fall off before the end of the show.
Listen, you can't send people to the hospital then.
But I want to go to the hospital. I ain't got no insurance. You ain't hear what I said, Terraine? If we had this national insurance, I would be in the hospital room checking right now. That's a very serious issue. So much young people just don't have insurance. Something happens, it can devastate you. Knock up wood, thanks. Hopefully that don't happen to none of us in here. But it's one of those key things. But that's one of some things. Although you hear it in the background, that's one of those key issues that I think would be awesome because. If you got a national health care, you could use that to improve the hospital because
strategy.
Yeah, one of the things with the hospital is the more people using it, you have to upgrade it. Because if everybody using it, then you're gonna want the hospital making more money because everybody got insurance and nobody feel any kind of way about going to the hospital. So the hospital generating more revenue, thus
more machines, more equipment.
Boom, that's one of the things that you see in the long-term progression. That's one of those things I feel is be perfect and is going to help so much other persons and give a level of national security. How do you feel about that, Valdo? You'd be down for that?
That was critical thinking.
Yes, I would, because I don't have insurance either. And I'm 20 years old and I don't have insurance either. So
yeah, something happens.
Having something that would secure me would definitely be a benefit.
Yeah, something security, that's one of those key things. I feel if we just got that implemented, we would see so much drastic changes.
Yeah, so what we just do? Problem, solution.
Problem, solution,
and how to get there.
And how to get there.
Exactly. Strategy.
Yeah, it's the mindset really and truly, The mindset is, I talk about taxes or anybody have to pay more money or you ain't gonna win the elections. You need somebody to come out who's a little bit on the braver side. It's like, okay, this is how we think. Let me be real with you. Let me respect you as an Anguillan and understand that you deeper than hearing money this and money there and that. And you want to understand, you want to trust the future of Anguilla and give me a solid plan and I will back it. Don't give me the funny kind of credit,
Exactly.
I think it's going to be a nice time. What I realized just the other day? We only just getting out of the realm of revolutionary heroes being our politicians and things like that. We are still a very young country. We're gonna just celebrate 50 the other day.
And that's a problem. That's a problem right now as well. You got politicians that's in power from a whole different generation. You ain't got nothing to relate.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing. We don't need to sit down and talk about nothing because we don't have anything in common. Your struggles ain't my struggles. My struggles might be similar to her struggles and to her struggles and to yours.
Exactly.
But ain't no relation.
And then you're starting to see the effects of it because I got so many friends, so many of my younger friends, who are just plain out left Anguilla because they've essentially given up.
I beg to argue. There's one common denominator.
One common denominator, give it to us.
Anguilla. We all live here. We all live in Anguilla, and if we don't take it if we don't take it as that, as we all live in this land, and we all want to make it okay for us everybody to live in this land, that is Anguillan and them things. We can't be like, oh, we ain't got nothing in common. Honestly, that's lazy.
No, I talk about what it is, yeah.
No, I understand what you're talking about, but when you get up on the radio and you telling all these people that you ain't got nothing in common with them, because you younger than them, that's a problem. We do have plenty in common with old folk.
Well, yes, we do.
And there's plenty to be learned from old folk.
Right,
no,
right.
The old folk, though, need to listen to the young people's
but that's
new
the
ideas.
problem.
And they need to respect young people's drive and need for answers for these questions instead of shocking people off and pretending like they ain't got nothing good. And just really and truly playing a blind hand to the young people, pretending they're nothing.
And the problem is too, you basically got this stigma out there that young people don't want to do this, young people don't want to work out, young people want to do is smoke this, do that, and then you'd hear them say that the young people ain't listening. Because they don't align with the younger idea of what you would want to see. So
The
that's
thing
what it
is,
is.
the young people got a lot of ideas, but they ain't got nobody to listen to. And that's the problem here.
Because, like I said, with the age gap, you don't view it as this, so it should move.
At the end of the day, numbers rule everything.
True.
And
Wait, you answer this here?
at the end of the day, numbers rule everything, and we need to make sure that the youth vote this year is heard.
Exactly.
If you are a young person, this is the election to come out and make your voices heard. This is a lot of crucial things are on the mix and are going to be on the table in this election inside that ballot box. So it's very crucial that the future of your Anguilla, because it's going to be your future for the longest amount of time, make sure your voice is heard.
But the thing is, like, sorry, this is the reason why we even started our One Anguilla Youth, because the younger ones feel discouraged because there has not been any progress in Anguilla for ages, for years. So they feel like, you know what, even if I have this idea, it doesn't make no sense, so nobody gonna listen to me anyway. Nothing can change anyway. But we're here to say, you know what, you got a voice. Somebody listening. It is your peers.
I feel that's a very important sort of feeling that you have to have. I mean, it's very hard to go out there and scream into the emptiness, you know, I feel like nobody listening to you. And that's what I feel as though a lot of people start to feel.
I think my biggest criticism now of the older generation in Anguilla is that they have not taught the younger people, and it's up to them to transfer knowledge. They have not taught younger people about their civic responsibilities and duties. There's, for some reason, there's a gap of knowledge there, where there's quite a limited number of old people, even people of the revolution and lived in and participated in the revolution. No, but whatever happened in those years after the revolution, I feel like the drive to be independent in that type of way, or at least be on our own 2 feet,
Would you say
was
that
lost.
falls on a lack of education?
Well,
From us
see,
not being educated?
here's the thing about a lack of education. There's 2 sides to that. There's people wanting to learn, and then there's people trying to teach. So I believe that there has been efforts, and there are some very, very educated Anguillans.
Yeah.
Very, very smart, sharp people that do lots of writing and institutional type work. But in terms of the general populace, right? We're talking about people that are just working blue collar jobs, a daily basis, that might not read and have to read and write every day on that type of level and those type of things. Yeah, we haven't instilled a culture around that type of lifelong learning. I need to be reading and writing and participating politically and participating in these other ways. No, people participate politically here, but it's still on this level of illiteracy because we still use these symbols. We still use these very obviously, because we don't have a population that is, a majority educated on that type of level. There has to be this certain level coming down to them, so we could operate on that level and we could get through what we need to get through.
But let me ask you this question now.
How do we change it?
No, a bigger question to ask than that. If we live in a country, and from what I get, we are saying the average voter, and I'm talking specifically about Anguilla, this applies everywhere where democracy happens. If the average voter is not well informed about issues and not well informed about political structure, and we cannot trust that they will be, is democracy the best option?
Well, again, I think it comes. Hold on, we gotta, because
that's a rough one.
No, I was gonna respond to that. It's that part of democracy is up
that's
to.
That's the key part.
But listen, it is up to the governance to implement that part. We elect a government because we think that these set of people will lead us in a correct way. If they lead us astray, if they do not invest in education, that is on them at that point. that we have done our part as people. There has to be a level of honest, you know, like they have to honor the fact that they are leading a set of people, and it is their duty to educate them about the democratic process, which is the process of our country.
Go ahead.
Based on what you just said, Gilbert, if they're making any actions without informing the people or coming to the people to ask their opinion, is that really democracy, or is that an authoritarian? Are they not acting as if they are just the only party of Angola, they're the only voice? That's not what our democratic system is supposed to be made of. You're supposed to come to the people and ask the people. You serve us, we don't serve you.
That's always been one of those things that I had very funny with Angular politicians, because Angular politicians have the idea of, okay, you elect me to run Anguilla in my image, me as a politician, not as a representative of everybody. So you pick just to throw a name, Victor. You pick Victor. That means, at least in Victor's head, is you pick Victor to run Anguilla the way Victor wants, not for Victor to run Anguilla as a representative to the other person. As soon as they get in power, you see that cut off of communication.
Exactly.
You don't hear persons asking about your opinions on this and this, and by the time you hear about it, it's already something.
To add to Akio's point about political illiteracy, it's crazy how you still have those people or those families that vote for a specific person or a specific party just because their family does it, you know what I mean? We don't have that whole feeling of, how do I say, independent thinking.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You as a voter, are you supposed to vote for who's best for you as an individual, or who are you supposed to best vote for who as everybody? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What are you supposed to do, as an individual or as everybody?
For everybody.
Because
the best for the people.
Yeah, there's an argument to say that if everybody does it for the individual, then you're gonna get, you know, a good representative. And like, for example, I come from a family that is exactly as that family you
Exactly.
a family that we vote for this party because this party, but there's a reason we vote for this party is because this party and my family have close ties by blood and other reasons. No, but then we get our benefits, and we can also rest assured that the other party has their same family that's doing the same thing. So it's kind of balanced out. It requires a drastic change in mindset of everybody across the board, else you're going to break the system.
Well, I think that's why we need to go away from these district officials that are elected to represent us internationally. We need to have an international level of representation and then a community level of representation. The fact of the matter is we will always vote for family members when we are voting in districts, because that is how our family lands are laid out. Period.
Yeah.
It's a structural problem. So if we want to continue voting for District 1 and District 2, we will continue to vote on these type of lines. If we want to move away from that, we have to drastically change the structure of how we vote for our representatives.
It is a tribal thing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're not looking out for the betterment of the whole island. It's just like for your family or for that family down the road.
I want somebody to run for an office. I want somebody to say, look, I could take Michael and make Anguilla great by doing X, Y, Z.
Right.
X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. In 3-5 years, whatever, we can have this done, that done, this done.
Because there's been talks.
This, that, and that done. Right? But instead of coming in and saying, okay, this whole panel of people gets elected, and then, oh, I'm going to assign this doctor to Michael who has no clue how to even lay a piece of concrete, it don't make sense.
But the voting at large thing seems like the first step in phasing out the district system. So it seems like it's a step in the direction.
Voting at large is an unnecessary compromise, personally, because if we wanted it, because what's going to end up happening is you have over-representation now.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have.
We should have kicked out, then the parties should have gotten 4 less. You understand what I'm saying? Those seats should have just changed.
But you gotta understand how that would be very difficult, because that means you're gonna have to mold some districts. And depending on how you merge those districts will have drastic effects on what
But I'm pretty
elections
sure
they're gonna be
been,
like. I think 11 ministers are way too much, and I don't know how it's gonna happen if it does happen. But if it does happen, at the very least, we can show that this system works, and then we can start to talk about getting rid of those district system and just have it all at large, 7 at large, instead of 11 total.
That I see is that the other thing is a party can have more people in the government now, and it doesn't allow balance anymore. It seems like now you can overpower and gerrymander and redraw districts based on who also has a pull in this district and this district and that district. So you understand what I'm saying? I think you're gonna have an invisible redrawing of boundaries based on who's connected. But listen what I'm saying, based on who's connected to who and who has business with who in whatever districts.
And
You know, it's another way for the politicians to be bought out. That's how I see it.
It's a problem.
No, that's exactly what's happening. Rechecking boundary lines a long time. So they know exactly what they're doing, but it's time for the Angolians to actually wake up and understand what's actually happening.
We had last week, we had a young person, he was around 16, 17 years, like around that age, just fifth form. And he's one of those persons who are in that age that in 2020, just before the election, he's going to be turning 18, thus he's going to be voting. So he's going to be like one of those fresh voters, as fresh as it can be. And he does not listen to the radio. He does not read executive minutes. Of course, he's a 15-year-old kid. And he doesn't read a newspaper. These young persons don't really have a feasible means to get political. It's all kind of hearsay and what you hear on the streets, and maybe you talk to some co-workers or your mother tell you something. But
that's not only just the young people, that's with everybody.
At least with the older persons, you got.
A lot of us don't read the newspaper.
Yeah, Jay.
And a lot of us are just listening to, Latonya tell me today, what Tanya said, he
and
right.
Yeah.
So you get false information upon false information.
I've always noticed that we in Anguilla don't really have straight cut-out journalism.
Right.
We have, the radio broadcasting, the radio show host, which tends to be very heavily politically influenced in one way or another, and we have the newspaper, which has its obvious biases as well. So it's sort of like you can't really get a direct source of just facts and insightful argumentation that
transparency.
and transparency that you
We
need.
don't have it.
So much missing communication. I've heard so much because I love to read the executive minutes. But even me, and I studied law for a little while, I find it kind of difficult to go through those things.
And even understand what you're
Yeah,
reading.
and understand what it takes a lot to be able to understand. I can't expect that just anybody will be able to do that. And that's one of the only real ways of getting proper to the real facts of what's going on in Anguilla.
Well, you who went university, went all over, can't sit down and understand what things you're reading.
Exactly. Sometimes it's just too difficult.
What about the person that didn't go?
You know what's ridiculous that I learned? And it affected me directly, and it actually had me furious. Terraine, let me be real with you right now. I grew up in Ray Hill with Ray Hill people. I went to Island Harbor School with Island Harbor people. I used to, all my friends used to live in West End with West End, so I used to always be in West End with West End people. It's my favorite beach. I know a little bit about everybody in St. Anguilla. Nobody, I for Papa Nash, nobody don't know who I be kind of way. And I grew into the core. I went to try and get a travel permit to come to the establishment. The I ain't an Anguillian. Could you believe that? Me who born here, went through the whole system, is not an Anguillian. Because my mother and my father who is an Anguillian, were not married. And the father doesn't matter in Anguilla. It's only the mother. You did not know that, right? That's astonishing. If your mother is from here, if your mother is not from here, and your father is from here, and you're born here, you're not an Anguillian. Just flat out.
So that's do not matter.
Only of the mother. So if your mother is from here and your father is not from here, you're fine. But if your father from here and your mother's not from here and they're not married, you're flat out.
Yeah.
Then you gotta stay here for, I think it's 12 years, and then you could apply for it.
So within the 12 years, you paying money?
I never had to pay no nothing and all that kind of stuff. I went through my entire, I voted. I went through my entire thing not knowing anything about this. It's only when I now trying to get a travel permit because my passport expired to go overseas, to go to St. Martin. I find out that this
The
was
question you need to write down is to figure out since how long that law been.
well, that's always been the case. That's always been the case.
Sure.
Positive, because I had to go. Go ahead.
It's really mind-boggling though, like why the pattern on influence not the.
Well, I know that it is happening for real, but
Yeah, but
And then when I started to talk about it, I talked to other classmates, and then they realized, yeah, you don't know that, because I know a bunch of my classmates who always, you know, they was then going, they had to get permits and all that kind of stuff like that. Or like a person used to work with me that was in that same situation, and she had to apply and do all that kind of stuff because her mother wasn't from here. But I never put two and two together. It was such a strange thing. Go ahead.
So I have a question then. So with them trying to implement this new law of your grandparents can now give you rights, would that be just the grandparents of your mother?
See, now that's where I don't know.
good
I
question.
don't know, but I do think it is if you're both your grandparents and the grandparents are married, that you're solid. If that goes through, I don't know if it's gone through yet. Has that gone through yet, Terraine?
I don't know, but
Yeah, so I think that would change things. But that also puts into the place where young persons who have never stepped foot in Anguilla, theoretically, could never step foot in Anguilla, had no ties to Anguilla other than that their mother's grandparents were from Anguilla, can be an Anguillan citizen, and I can't be. Who paid all this taxes, all that kind of stuff. And then, and you're going to tell me that this whole grandparents thing is of a high priority, and this is not of a high priority?
yeah, no.
But
That
that
seems
That
ridiculous.
make you wonder when they were asking for opinions on what to change.
oh, them have opinions with them.
When
Them don't got the money make up on what them want to do, so your opinion don't matter. Them gonna come together. Oh yeah, let me
To
make
make
you
you
feel
feel
like
like
this
you're
time.
involved.
When you say to just like hey, oh you can go and do it. I don't got a plan set up.
Cause my thing was, I didn't even know that they had a meeting to do all of these changes. And when you hear the stuff and changes that are being made, it's like, that was
You
built
didn't
over
agree.
this.
Right.
You really gonna put that in the first phase?
Yep.
Who are these people to make these changes? Like, who voted for this? Cause
People
I have
make
my own thoughts.
decisions. This is the crazy thing.
It's very easy to vote and forget it. Because I know people who got the biggest things to say about this administration, and they ask them who they might vote for this administration.
But you know what? What I thought of the other night, when politics come around again, you're gonna hear these big rallies going on. Everybody up on the pond. Hey, UF up there, UM up there. They blowing them on, right? And listen, I swear to God, they don't understand anything. Any word coming out of politics.
But the chicken and talks and stuff. And they get it for a second.
Just like, and like, yes, beep, beep. And it's just like, you would go up there and just read a bunch of trash, and like somebody out there blowing them on, so because they
Because
you
you
don't understand. They make you
And that goes back to that whole tribal,
Exactly, it is tribal.
support. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a competition. eh?
It's all goes to
We
maybe
gotta do better, you know, we gotta do better.
But see,
crazy.
I hope that one Anguilla youth is going to be a part of this change, and we start to see.
Deeper
I-
don't hope, we definitely
will,
be a part
yeah.
of the change.
That I
This
hope-
is the change.
Yeah, I hope that we start to see different avenues of this politics. I hope that we start to see a different aspect of, we start to see young persons, Facebook Live, I thought
Yeah.
posts. I know like the last election, it was the most Facebook active election that we've had in a long time. And social media plays such a huge, like they say that social media is what to get Trump elected altogether and all that kind of stuff, Facebook posts. So we're gonna hope that they take some notes and start to see that these
Not
mediums.
take notes, let them just,
Yeah.
let's just sit and talk.
Yeah, and see.
It
if we
is
can-
That's
1,
our
2, 3,
message.
4, 5 months in here. We walking.
Talk.
This is discussing. This is creating strategy. This is a movement that definitely gonna get us where we need to go.
It's
A
already
movement.
Hmm?
It's already moving.
You don't know.
Yeah, we definitely getting there.
We doing it.
The politics. We have three lovely ladies. If you just joined us in, we have Terraine here. We have Latonya in here. We have the wonderful Valda in here. With a smile that lighten up the whole room. We are going into our first hour. We just clocking out. We did a first good hour. How you feeling? Are you feeling good about the first hour? Yeah. Feel free to give us a call. Feel free to leave comments. We are listening to the comments online. If you have a concern, if you want to add to the conversation anyway, please do jump it through. we have a little while longer, so we want to talk on some other quick topics. And because it's such a real thing for us to find young women to come on the radio show, what is it about you young women that make you so shy and hard to get on the show? What is it about that makes it difficult?
What are you talking about?
I lie you, it's so hard. It's like pulling together. I find the diamonds in the rubble. The diamonds in the rubble who are willing to come.
The thing is, I wasn't sure, and I remember
I know you were gonna come, you know. Before I asked you, I know you were gonna end up in this seat one way or another. I'm surprised with you. I'm happy with you. But it's so hard to find young women specifically to go out and speak their mind. We don't see a lot of young women in politics, and we starting to see it more and more. Even more so than most other Caribbean countries. We got Pam, who's actually elected. We have what's her name, Miss Bradley, who's in there, Honorable Bradley, whatever it is. And we start to see more of a thing. But we don't tend to hear a lot about female-related issues. Do you have anything along the lines of there that is directly related that you people would like me and here we just ain't gonna get from your perspective?
Yeah, definitely. Sexual harassment is number one.
Yeah, right out the gates with the hard one. The hard one, sexual harassment in Anguilla. What you got to say about it?
Sexual harassment in Anguilla is basically getting swept under the rug.
The thing is, we live in an island. It's 1,300 people. Everybody know everybody. Some things that might come off as sexual harassment is easy to be dismissed as playing around. Which I ain't saying is the right thing. I ain't saying that's right. But you gotta understand how it does get a little easier to go on. I just see it all the time, especially in older persons. I just see it like, hey, if you in the States, you are in jail right now, kind of thing like that. But it's kind of like the small island mentality.
Well, that again needs to change, because it's unfair to women, first of all, to just have a man basically come up to you, say what he want to say to you, disrespect you, and you just gotta go on about your day because what?
Yeah,
the thing is, especially with, I don't want to say angry and people in particular, because I'm just saying it because I'm from here, but they, like you said, they sweep everything underneath the rug and they say things like,
that's what we
exactly, you know,
like, you need to stop it.
The thing is, if you have some sort of status here, if you're popular, or if you're deemed not as mentally capable or mentally stable,
you're pretending to be crazy.
You know what I mean? And even if you are mentally challenged, why are you roaming the streets of Anguilla?
Why exactly? Why we don't have a system in place for mentally challenged people?
Cost money.
Right.
Cost money.
Right.
Living costs.
But then you're putting women, young women in particular, in danger. You have to be roaming these streets.
But specifically, not even specifically with persons who have actual issues, but just in general, there's a very roundabout, relaxed way of dealing with things, even in corporate
They're not being held
situations.
accountable, and it's not okay. You can't sweep things like that. Then when something actually happens and someone actually gets raped, then it's like, oh Lord, I didn't know he was like that.
But even not even that too extreme, but just sort of inappropriate workplace behavior. You know what? Something that I thought about the other day.
Old ass.
Yeah.
He's stripping over.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, he drunk. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But something that I realized the other day, especially in Anguilla, where our main industry is hospitality.
But here, let's not jump. Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I lose this thought.
Go ahead. Hit me with it.
Some places that have sexual harassment laws.
Yeah.
Right? That's either a fine you gotta pay, or you got some jail time. We ain't got no money in Anguilla, but we got a lot of sexual predators walking these streets.
Yeah.
A lot. So if we was to think about it and implement a strategy with this and this gonna cut out this here and help us here in this area, why don't we consider it?
See, we do have those laws. It's just people don't talk about it
like disseminating pictures.
Yeah.
There's
Put
nothing.
that money on it.
There's no charge.
Raise some money.
They do get it. Some people do get in trouble for that.
This is very hard to prove.
What is this trouble?
What is it? Like,
Based on what emotional
know.
stuff I go through because you send out a picture of me that's gonna last forever.
I understand.
What is your punishment?
Exactly.
I'm not,
How do I benefit from this?
I'm not
I'm the
arguing.
victim.
Hello. not.
Walk on glass, walk on glass.
Well, I was trying to state the reality because I've been spoken to by Flo into our class in school, and Flo warns the children when you send those out. If it is of underage people, they are definitely reported. And child pornography, and everybody that shares that, any phone that goes on, like they track that, and if it's posted, or whatever, they know. So people have been in trouble for. I don't know the specific cases, but I know that police do go to Flo and track things like that. I don't know the extent of everything, and I can't speak to that, but I have been told those things from.
I hope you was told the truth.
I know that cell phone companies track all that stuff.
Yeah, I know that too, but like I know that's popular in America for sure. But to see
getting in trouble for that is not a small, is not a big jump. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know.
We ain't got no shit. We ain't got no lecture on that.
Use
this as an example of what not to do because
like,
this
you don't
is
have
what
any
happened.
evidence.
So that's what I said. I'm statement about it being true.
But back what I was saying is
Go ahead.
that it's not because you got those sort of key issues, but everybody across the board mostly know that's wrong. Nobody ain't got no person in Angola who's saying, oh well, if she said most person, at least most sane people, thinking people, they say, yeah, that's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. What they're saying, what they do is different.
Okay.
But everybody, there's no debate on whether that's wrong. Whether people still do it, knowing is wrong.
What is wrong?
I'm talking about the pictures.
So the person that's sending the pictures.
And that was a point I was gonna make.
Yeah.
They also bashed the person in the picture as if, oh well, she sent it out, so she had to know what she was gonna get.
Exactly.
What do you mean she had to know what she's gonna get?
It's a hard one.
So now you're living in fear of not wanting. You're not living in fear of not wanting to, speak to your sex your partner, because of the fear of being exposed.
But I mean, there's something to be said. That is just one of those things you gotta be smart. Okay, go ahead.
One thing as well, the fact that people think it's okay to bash a woman because she's in these pictures being sexual or whatever, and they're doing the same thing but behind closed doors. How are you bashing a woman for being sexual? Are you not having sex yourself?
Yeah.
But just because this person is exposed, because they were trusting in their partner.
My solution, my comment to that would be,
just don't send them.
Don't send them
at all.
Just stop.
Well, don't send them unless you don't trust.
No,
trust.
I mean, it got something to do with trust here.
Because they got things like people going to your phone. Oh, let me use your phone now.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
If you don't want to
Yeah. But I never a fan of don't do nothing because of the rest of having everyone else influence your actions. I feel as though you should be able to do it, and it should be incredibly illegal. Because if I send you something, it's for you and I, and it's quite obvious that my intent was for you and you only. And if you go and do that, that is not only immorally wrong, it is illegal. So it should be treated as such, and it should be socially treated as such. But it just doesn't. That's like the buzz news. Like everyone hears that, it gets shared, group chats, boom, 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 boom.
That's it.
That's everything. And no one bats another eye. Everyone laughs about it. Maybe a week, 2 weeks, and then people move on. I know for the individual, but you have to look. You give too much people too much credit. It's people simple creatures. See something, laugh. It's as long as it's not directly affecting me.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's that disconnect. It's like we don't have a social responsibility for it. Yeah, I know certain people that just will not to have anything to do with it, and they put themselves on board, and I applaud them.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna put myself in one of those categories, but I think that's a way forward. We do have those conscious, but I don't think we're gonna ever see the day where people have just told the cheese on top of that.
My primary advice would be to just not take pictures and not send them. But my thing is, why would you feel the need to have to hinder yourself in your relationship and not send out those type of pictures?
You're young, love.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, why should you have
Why
to
do
do
you
this?
feel like you can't be comfortable or confide in your partner?
Well,
With things like
First of
that?
all, that's
Yeah,
a
choices.
relationship to relationship thing.
yeah.
That's a personal.
No, I'm saying that you can't
personal
confide in your partner to hold
that's-
your pictures because of the fear.
That's you
of
choose your
something
partner.
happening.
Yeah. That's your partner choice.
It's part of choice.
But it's
Sometimes
not
just
though.
the
It's
partner.
not.
It could be
Yes,
a
it-
friend that was on the phone.
I
it
mean,
could
your
have
part.
been
If
somebody else.
trust me, if you
That's-
send me something that
That's
gets
what
locked
I'm
down
saying.
properly,
You can choose not to associate yourself with those types of people.
But I
You
mean, what I'm
can
saying
choose
is that
not
it
to send out
happened. I'm saying that it happened.
It could have been somebody hacked your account, like a Snapchat
It
account.
happened.
I'm not speaking towards hacking of things where they have no control. You were speaking
No,
towards
but
the
listen.
relationships that somebody
No,
has,
Akio, I'm saying
and
you
them
can't
sending
trust.
photos to somebody. I know I choose not to ask for nor send photos because of these reasons.
Right.
Period. So again, it is a personal choice.
No, Akio, what Ghana and I are saying is you would trust your partner with the pictures, but there are external factors as to how your pictures can be disseminated.
But-
Exactly why you do not.
But that's what
No,
I
no,
said,
no,
that's
no,
my
no.
primary
But-
advice, don't send them at all.
but it's also the responsibility of the person.
Exactly.
If you send me
Don't send them at
pictures,
all.
if anybody's ever sent me pictures, know that I have them securely locked away
Not
in
that
a
he said
special
he has
folder.
any.
No, not that I say. But if you do 5839999, send them. They go into a secure folder automatically. You can't get into that as an IT person. Trust me. Anyway, we're moving on to the next thing. But that's the thing.
Quick thought.
Quick that.
Would
Quick
it be
that.
the lack of respect men have for women now, or is it a lack of respect that women have for themselves?
It could be
Ah,
both.
That's the
that's
way to go for real.
I've seen
It's both.
instances where the guy sent it, well, the
It's
guy showed.
Also, a lack of respect men have for themselves. We have to.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to. This is a societal problem. This isn't one
Very true.
side nor the other side.
Very
And
true,
I
very
don't want
true.
this conversation to be leaning towards either or, because it's men's responsibility as well as women's
Exactly.
responsibility in different ways. That's just how I want to view it. You know what I mean? So I just.
You can't really choose a side, it's both of them.
It's a
Men have a big responsibility, and there is a lot of teaching that does not happen that does not come down from older heads come down.
Yeah.
And it's not, there's no one major issue, and I'm biracial, so I've had the privilege of growing up with two different cultures.
Yeah.
On my black side, granted, I have a very good father. I have a lot of friends that do not have fathers that have talked to them or have conversations with them. Whereas on my mother's side, I've had plenty of conversations with older men in my life about such things in different ways. You understand? So you get a better understanding, a full world understanding of how you're gonna go about talking to girls and in relationships and approaching women and these different things. I've watched plenty of documentaries, especially on these younger kids from the 90s and the 2000s. And literally in these specific generations, there's, for some reason, there's just no, like, there's a big gap. They don't know how to talk to women. There's like no, like, I don't want to call it sensitivity, but it is. Like, there's no, you know.
We are desensitized.
Well, yeah, there's just no sensitivity to how to approach that situation.
It's very good. It's become pretty
And
commonplace.
two, there's also a power and dynamic shift going on between men and women. You see it in Anguilla with the fact that women are more gainfully employed than men most of the time. They
I
hold
want to talk about that a little bit.
they hold positions in the government or in companies where they are employed for longer and therefore have become more stable in the economy versus the men who are up, down, up, down, up, down. Therefore, leading to men playing different roles in the household and that affecting the mental state of how that, we can talk about the women's side. I just talk from my perspective and why I see and study.
Let me touch on a point that you mentioned there right quick, because in Anguilla, where our main industry is hospitality, women tend to have a distinct advantage in that industry. And you see it in terms of the level of roles that people have. If you look at some of the top positions, the for that are held by Anguillian is held by Anguillian women. You tend not to see men make it to those higher ranks as to those women do. And because of that, you do tend to have a lot of very powerful women in Anguilla.
Good night.
Good night. How you doing?
Randy, what's going on?
I quit. So you all have a pleasant night.
You too.
Thank you.
Drive
Yes,
safe.
yes.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
So how do you feel about that?
Are you got the dog?
Repeat again? Okay, so in Anguilla, where our main industry is hospitality, yeah, you tend to get, women tend to be more inclined and a bit, just, better inside this industry. And because of that, they tend to have higher rules than most of the men do. Like if I could call some extremely high ranking persons in the hospital industry that are female. It just tends to be a place where women have, more authority, if anything. And because of that, you do have a lot of very powerful Anguillian women. And I feel as though there's starting to become that little bit of a, not battle, but sort of shift. I've always felt it in Anguilla it's very even. Because you have, the men and then you still have the women that are, in Anguilla we have this really strong women. How do you feel about that?
Well, as a young woman, I know I have to carry myself a certain way because my appearance is my first impression. Regardless of if I'm smart, if I am of a certain age, my appearance is my key to gathering attention. So if I see a female winning or in a high position, I respect her because I know how hard she had to work for that to get past just her physical looks. So if I see a man that is being any kind of male that is not in a high position, I really challenge because I know how hard a female has to work for that position.
But it's the other way around too. I mean, I know women a little bit more so and for different reasons, but everyone's judges, on their cover. When you go into a job interview, depending on how you dress, you get hired or you get fired. Like, I know my boss tell me, he does decide whether he can hire you or not hire you based on the time you walk inside that door. You just know. You get a vibe, you get energy. I remember when, I'll touch on this, I don't want to bring it up, but I remember when I was applying for a job at a certain hotel in Anguilla that's been here for a long time. Them had sent me, I had put in my resume and I had sent them a message and I had talked to them on the phone and everything like that. And they were, you could tell that they weren't, alright, come for it. Like they weren't as enthusiastic about having me there.
Did you have experience?
No experience whatsoever.
That's a major disadvantage.
Yeah, major disadvantage, no experience. I know the other persons who applied for the job had much more experience, all this kind of stuff. And I applied, and as soon as I walk into the interview, I see everybody change. And I see everything, all of a sudden they were friendly. I was like,
oh, because it's you.
Yeah, and
they didn't know you by your name.
No, they didn't know me. But I was substantially fairer skin. I was substantially fairer skin than most other persons that come into the to take. So they were like, oh yeah, and he was like, so now they were like, boom, 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 and I get the job.
Relate with my guest.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the job, and I beat those other persons, and I was terrible at the job.
So how does that complicate? Terrible.
Yeah,
when
terrible.
I hear that basically lived in that scenario that you just described.
That's a rough. That's a rough
Suppose
situation.
that's the reason why these men are not applying for these jobs because they're gonna give it to him because of how he look.
I experienced it, and I could not justify another reason on why you would hire me over somebody else or other person that applied for the job. Other than that, that was the defining factor. Have you guys ever? Do you feel as though there's something similar in terms of the role for women? Because I know, like, if you apply for as a job as a guy in say this housekeeping, you already getting looked at weird and all that kind of stuff.
Thanks, but you know what's amazing? When we went to Grenada, that was the most uplifting thing to see. You saw young people our age, and it didn't matter whether they were cleaning the rooms. Like you have males and females doing this, and it was real impressive to see that. Like in our hotel, say you got people 50 years,
Yeah.
60 years, here, beyond grade, need to go into retirement. Where you see, you know, when you come into another island and you're expecting to see these same type of people, you know, like your grandmother cleaning still.
Yeah.
But now you got like young people, 20, 22, doing the same things, and it's not stereotyping and it's not looked down
You know,
upon.
I don't see often
Well,
male secretaries, male people that sit down.
Male reception.
very true.
Receptionists, like, I
You
don't
know-
see that often.
And you know what also that men have sort of taken over in Anguilla? Chefs.
Yeah.
Like if you look at all the big
Because
chefs in
you don't see
Anguilla,
female secretaries.
Yeah. if you look at all the main chefs in Anguilla, it's mostly men. I remember because my girlfriend grandmother was one of the big chefs, and back then it was all the women going, you know, them were the cooks, them were the chefs of Anguilla, and then it sort of slowly start to shift, and all of a sudden all the big chefs. Maybe them involved.
Maybe involving the women involved in that evolution, I guess.
Yeah, it's
That's
got
That goes into what you say.
Do you
like
feel you guys are-
it's going to government.
Do you feel as though, as a female in Anguilla, you're limited in terms of your your job opportunities in terms of what you can try? Do you feel limited? Would you feel a way applying to be a chef in Anguilla?
No.
Do you feel as though, oh, that's kind of a guy job and stuff like that?
No, it wouldn't apply that. It just
You just want to apply because it ain't for you. But do you feel
Yeah,
as
I
though
wanna go.
you would have been, you know,
Yes.
discriminated against? Do you think you'd have been, you know, Anguilla's pretty
I don't think
open-minded?
so because
Not
it's
for
still in
chef.
my mindset that you know women normally the ones that are chefing it up regardless.
Not even in mine. Like,
See, we-
in my house, even my father was the cook. And my
Right.
mother was cooking. I was like, it's
But
like,
it's not. But then you see the opposite. Are you in the opposite position?
Yeah, you may
Because
be in
my
the
mother was
opposite-
always the
the
one cooking.
cooking, yeah.
So in my mind, my mindset is that the woman. No, that's a lady's job. Like a lady does cook all the
And that's
time.
back to like the original family structure as well. Like
Yeah, exactly.
the mother was more maternal and providing, and then
That's another big
Exactly,
issue.
yeah.
I talked to, I ain't gonna say his name because he might not want it, but he was telling me he's think a lot of the problem with why you have so many youth that are not making to the is because
gender roles.
more women
Mm-hmm.
are working than ever before in Anguilla history, which means more women, there are less women that are at home taking care of kids
Right.
and doing the whole this and that,
What
and
that
that
means-
is that's having an effect on the young people.
Okay, I can see that. But what that means is, and shout out to my boy Kenya, shout out to my boy Giada Lion, you gotta be a proper father now. You gotta spend time with your children as a father. You gotta share the responsibility of raising your child as a father. Not to say that there haven't been great fathers in the past, I'm sure there have. But obviously, if you putting all the child raising responsibility on a woman, you're wrong.
But it's not about necessarily the amount of work because there's certain amount of hours in a day. If I work in a 9 to 5, you work in a 9 to 5, nobody home, nobody there with the kid gotta get picked up for soccer practice, but you can't go soccer practice, I gotta work, so you can't go to the
And
things
you're
like
not-
that.
Let me tell you this.
You have you can have two of the most caring and influential parents, but at the end of the day, it's just a matter of hours in a day. Go
I
ahead.
grew up in two single parent households differently. My mother's household and my father's household. Don't tell me them can't put time to do what I'm gotta do.
At least that's the excuse that you hear often.
No, don't
But
tell
the
me
thing is-
that. I can't believe that because if my mother raised me and my brother in the States with only a couple people around her to help
Right.
her family, don't
Yeah,
tell me
no excuse.
you can't. And you know what I mean? You can't tell me that's not possible. It's
Okay,
But
not
here's
possible is
what
one
I'm
thing.
not saying
Definitely
it's not
more
tough.
difficult.
I'm not
No,
saying
but
it's
here's
not
what I
tough, and I'm not saying my family didn't have to make sacrifices, but that's what families do together. They do that together.
But
It makes you
but
better.
if you look at it right now, so often the sacrifice that's being made, because there's always gonna have to be a sacrifice in that situation. The sacrifice that tends to be most often made tends to be on the part of the child.
Yeah, it is.
So you
Then you
said-
cannot deny that that is the case.
Look, I think children, because I agree with you on a level. I felt that way for a long time until I'd grown older and gotten into relationships with women on my own and realizing that they're complicated as well And a lot of things that people are sacrificing, and this is where I say is on the onus, is on the responsibility of the young people of this nation to also understand what has come before them. I had to understand that my mother and father's relationship was a lot more complicated at that point in time in their life.
Yeah, I talking about
but saying that is like, oh, the child had a sacrifice. Well, you didn't think my mother no father had to sacrifice something in that point, and that puts it in that situation?
Exactly.
That's
I'm
my
talking
point.
about what happens on the average. Your parents might have said, no, you are priority numero uno, but certain people just don't have that one luxury for whatever reason. The child just cannot be top priority. Cost of living has gone up. These days, if you want to have a certain standard of living, most people require two-parent walking household. And that
my parents don't realize that coming home and paying all the bills and making sure that food is on the table, that's not how you raise a kid, because at the end of the day, the kid's going to go back and say, I don't have a relationship with my mom. I have a roof on my head. I have water if I want to drink it, but I don't have a relationship with my mom. I don't have a relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
I sleep comfortably, but I don't have a relationship with I love them. That is the problem.
But you know what?
Go ahead. So you're talking about the whole 9 to 5 thing and they're making means meet and whatever. That is not all that takes to raise a child.
Very
There's
true,
so
very
much
true.
more.
But, I mean, I'm not in a situation. But
no, I understand what you're saying.
but
I wasn't a
trying to justify it from there.
Time.
You ain't got the time to look. Like sometimes you're just trying to make ends meet and you're tired. It's easy. It's easy to.
Back to as a community and back to as a people from Angola. What are we doing to each other? With each other, we basically
what can we do?
Watch each other drown.
But also this is still. We only now just start to see this generation coming in that are being influenced by this, and only now it's starting to become brought to light because it's only now we start to see those persons reach 18, 19 who don't have a lot of good relationship with parents. All those symptoms that come from it.
But they sleep comfortably.
This It's just it brings up different social problems.
I did hear Elder say to me, we need to get back to the old Angola, and when he said that, he basically meant back to who we are, what were our values, who are we as a people. Back in my grandmother days, everybody was checking for everybody, but right now I can tell you, I don't know if I tell my, well, I know for a fact, I barely see my neighbor and I hardly say good morning. And you live how far away from me, we know nothing about each other.
That was the past. I don't think we can ever get back to that point.
It takes a community to raise a child.
That, what blows my mind, right? I say good morning to my neighbor every morning. Like when I drive out, the woman be sitting on the side. I don't know her name right now.
Right.
What?
Right now.
She done ask me for a little something and I ain't had it, but I tell her sorry, I wish I had it, I'll give it to her, you know what I mean? But I say good morning to my neighbor every morning. If are you, but no, but I don't know why people ain't going out their way to do these things. If you want these changes to happen, you gotta be the person that making these changes. For me personally, when I walk around, right, I ain't telling you that I want this to happen, I'm doing it.
Right.
Like
But Keo, you live in Island Harbor. Island Harbor is still one of the few villages that still have that tight-knit family. If you're going to other places, it's not how it used to be, where everybody who was around you was your family, your cousin in one way or another. It does matter. But that's how you grew up.
I vex because Germans do not say bitte schön, which means thank you. They don't say that.
But that's a cultural thing.
Yeah. But this is why it's showing you. If you carry this thing, carry it in your heart everywhere you go. I stop hiding it when you want to hide it. Because when I go out and I step up, I deal. And when I go down the road in the point, I say good afternoon to whoever the hell I meet on the side of the road. Because that's what we do.
Yeah, but you know
it frustrates me when people say, oh, it's not our village, man. That's crap.
You said these ones are here.
I don't care.
But
are you getting me vexed?
You gotta understand.
If Curtis can say what he said, I can say what I say.
You're getting passionate, not vexed.
Well, I want people to know how passionate I be about my homeland. Period.
But the thing is, you have outsiders coming into your homeland as well, mixing with your home.
Listen, what's happening is we basically losing our culture. Everybody else bringing the culture and we got
Wait. Culture has to evolve.
Wait, what did you say? What were
But
you
it
gonna say?
I do agree.
You were gonna say something.
I was saying we never gonna get back to those days.
I
The
think
days,
definitely, we gotta keep moving.
we have to keep
evolve.
moving.
here's the thing about
Anguilla
days.
is
Here's
we're
the
living in
funny
the
thing,
wall.
You talk about this. Wait a second.
But let the girls talk.
Our culture evolving. Oh, people been traveling all them years. This is my point. What are you talking about? People been coming and going from Anguilla for centuries.
There has
because
never been a time
No,
where you have the
exactly.
internet how it is, TV from America. I
You
know
never
people
had
from Anguilla who
something
you talk to them, you don't know them
ethnicity
Anguilla.
Yeah.
And I know I could go into Anguilla. I could go from Anguilla, never left Anguilla in my life. Go to St. Martin, go to United States and fit right in with their culture because I know so much of their culture.
Yeah.
We live
Very
in
Americanized.
we live in the world where we've never been connected like this, and
Yeah.
boundaries like geopolitical boundaries have less of an effect than they've ever had. I know exactly what's going on in France, Russia, Germany, this and that at the whim of a note, as if I'm right there, like if it's happening on the street. We live in a world where it's not a Anguilla and this. We live in
Yeah, right,
the
right.
world.
I get you, Akio. We should still be
We
saying goodbye.
we have values.
No, but we
Yeah.
are-
That ain't even
no,
what I'm saying. That ain't even what I'm saying. No, God, are you really shortcoming the people that have come to pass in Anguilla? Robert Atlai Rogers reached all the way to South Africa. Don't tell me that Anguillans haven't been around the world since the beginning of Anguilla.
That's not what we
That's
said.
not what we
But,
said.
no, but are you saying that people in Anguilla haven't been able to reach and touch and do these things?
No.
People have been traveling in Anguilla for time.
They're
The-
changing us.
The
I'm
general
saying-
population of Anguillans have had a relationship with Santo Domingo for how long?
You cannot make the argument that our cultures have not mixed as much as
But
it
this
has
is what I'm
today.
saying. What do you mean?
The thing
What-
is,
what- what-
the thing is
Culture
that
mix.
with that history, who went into whose land? Our people went into their land. They're now coming into our land. They're mixing. They're bringing into what they.
Hey, yo, you know how long some people from Santo been here?
Yeah,
I
but
need
that's
to
the problem.
find
That's
out
what
what's
we're
going
saying.
on.
We know it's not like
When
into
did
the
Chinese come into here? When did French people? When did all of these? We are so much diverse now than what we were.
But this
There
is
is nowhere around change.
The fact
This is
that
just the
culture
wall.
watered down. The culture getting watered down. Point
But
blank.
it's not just
happening.
it's not even an Anguilla thing. If you look at just about
It's
everywhere,
a
they're
thing.
complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
America's
right.
complaining about Mexicans coming in, messing with the
Alright,
culture. Europeans in
Anguillan
Europe are
culture is
calling
getting
about the
watered
Arab.
down because Anguillans are lazy. And I gotta
No,
say,
it's gonna
I gotta
happen.
talk to
It's
Anguillans
gonna happen.
are too lazy to carry
It's
on
gonna
their
happen.
own culture. And I gotta say, I gotta keep talking that 'cause I ain't lazy. I build my house and I'm making sure that I carry on my traditions. Period. It is up to you as an Anguillan to do so. It is up to you as an Anguillan to go and teach these people that come to our land what we about. But we too lazy to get up and be proud about what we about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I don't care.
I don't
Are you
agree.
just getting me vexed?
You get yourself
You
No,
getting
because
yourself.
I am so apathetic and you're so ingrained in the apathy that you're just preaching it on the radio to
Apathy
people.
is important. You can't run through my way is the right way, nobody else's way is the wrong way.
Yeah.
You have to listen, go through. We cannot deny the facts of what's the situation we're living in.
Exactly.
And we can't hope that things going to be back to this because that's the way we want it.
Because we're still speaking about
Thank
what's
you,
happening
boss.
right now.
I proved it.
We're not disregarding the past or anything. We're just saying this is what's happening right now.
This is what you see right
Nobody
now.
even
But
talks
the
to
thing
you
is,
back.
like, you're proving our point. If, okay, so you're for Anguilla. Now, pretend that we're another ethnicity. You're trying to come and show us your culture. But we bring in our culture. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get upset. You're going to be like, we just lazy. We just this. I'm getting upset. I don't want to.
This is
Yeah,
worthy.
I'm losing it.
This is worthy of a whole nother show.
Participate
But we
in our
run
culture.
into 10
We
o'clock.
don't
So I wanna we gonna switch it up.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You can appreciate and take on other people's culture all you want. It's about celebrating and appreciating your own culture. Nobody said hate upon nobody.
No one
But
said
Get
that.
that correct.
No one said that at all. No
But
side
we
said
go-
that.
we-
Were you telling me that somebody gonna squash somebody's culture? It's up to you to
We
project
said
and
it's going to
continue on your
wrong
culture.
Meaning it's going to change. It's going to add on to other people.
it's But we going out to 10 o'clock and we don't want to spend too much time. That sounds like that could be a whole radio topic on a whole thing. A whole topic on a whole thing. But I want to just touch on a couple more things before we got about 50 more minutes. We're getting late. We've been clocking something. So I get 10 o'clock.
Alright?
Yeah, exactly. We're talking, having a good time, getting passionate, and time goes fast real quick.
Yeah.
But we got some other things happening. We're going into the Christmas season. We are not going to be on next week, by the way. You know, it's going to be Christmas Tuesday. You understand. But we shall be on back to the regular schedule the week after that. So, you know, do tune in. I'd rather have these lovely girls here. What are you guys doing for the Christmas season? Are you ready? I'm starting to feel the Christmas cheer. Are you guys feeling it?
No.
You ain't feeling the Christmas cheer?
I didn't even know Christmas was next
The
week.
Christmas
Every
lighting.
day is Christmas for me.
Are you went to the Christmas lighting?
Nothing changed. No.
Are you didn't
I
go?
want to do the video competition. We go on and do
The lights,
That's
right?
so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
nice.
I didn't even see
I
it.
didn't hear about it.
And then the lights there next to agriculture ground on the ground. That's so pretty. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Really did.
That's nice.
I saw on Facebook.
See, she go. She see that.
We gotta go.
It's just on the ground, right here.
We just down the road. This is your stunning ground thing, Lions
And
community.
I'm walking back like,
I know, right?
That was one of my young people favorite things.
thing.
That was one of the, as a young boy, I used to love the Christmas tree lighting. Like when you, when you're in primary school.
Yeah, and you start
I think the Christmas tree lighting, a lot of people love because it was something my grandmother used to love.
Everybody
We used
love
to
it.
just go to it just for her to see.
That's
Like,
why
I could have cared less.
I could have cared about Christmas.
Oh,
I
and
had
then the
Christmas.
opening of the like a village, when I got a fireworks, so just
Yeah,
go by
yeah,
there
yeah,
and jump in this vehicle.
It's so
Ah,
hype for it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
no,
They
it
really
wasn't
do.
fast.
No.
It's strange. I wonder if that have to do with age or that just the change in times.
Maybe that just had to do with losing the person that was the reason for even going.
Yeah, okay, got
That
a
might
reason,
be
got a reason too. But we have the event, what is it called? I think it's Battle of the Bands, that's it, Battle of the Bands is our way thing. It's there by
It's something
Agriculture.
good, so if I
Yeah.
go on.
We could hear them from here, the sounding good, we stand the thing. Yeah, the car get through.
coming out black.
Just
She done dress, dress.
black.
All black, are you come coordinated? Are you got a group chat,
And this
man?
wasn't even planned now.
Are you got a group chat? Are you lie? Are you lie? Are you lie? I think it's slip.
I said great minds think alike, so I can't say thanks.
Get up in.
Oh, yeah. So next week, not next week, the week after that, our topic, hopefully we're gonna have an awesome young man. He's Dequan Reed
Okay.
in Anguilla. He's a bass player. He doesn't matter the house, at least was matter in the house. He's in, so what band that be by Exodus. Bass player. He's performing tonight. Are you guys going up to the show?
No.
Are you gonna make it? Nah, you lame, man.
I am one of the dudes.
Good. Alright. But yeah, he's gonna be on the show hopefully, and we're gonna talk about the music industry in Anguilla and what we need to see to have Anguilla's music industry take to the next level. We're gonna have some creative topics and stuff like that. You guys ain't got anything that you wanna show in there just so I could push to him for the next show? Like one of the things I was thinking about
No,
was
what I would say is strategy again.
strategy, right?
Come together, sit
Marketing.
down, have more than you sit down with us in here. We all sit and we think ponder. We think.
One of my key things I also want to bring up was I want to bring up how much should the government be involved in promoting Anguillian arts abroad?
Well,
Yes.
to your people.
But the thing is, they didn't even have like a welcome anything for like the queens that came back. I remember that was a thing, big thing that.
Because
the representative of Angola.
at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, how much do you get back from something like that?
But even as a representative, they
But
can't
you're
have a
right.
welcome. Thank you for.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
when you're talking about return on investment, for example,
Gibberish.
go ahead, Terraine.
You speaking musically? I just Anguilla talent.
I'm talking about
Because
Anguilla talent,
if
Anguilla
an
talent.
Anguillian makes it, then Anguilla makes it.
Okay, for
So you
example,
can have a big return.
for example,
Listen,
go
no,
ahead.
wait. For example, big reggae artist, she gone abroad, she tour, she do whatever.
Mhm.
She done making millions. It's in her heart, her desire to say, you know what I about to do for my people? I about to slap 1 mil, 2 mil, let me rebuild the hospital just for my people. So if the government
That
was
would be
to invest
amazing.
in all of the talent we have right here,
Then
we would make
Anguilla would
it.
win.
But I mean that's a big risk deal. That who said that same reggae artist make it big,
That's a horrible plan.
get it big, make it into the
You're
states.
no. Because you need to think about the type of person you're gonna go and invest money in and expect them to go and give you money back.
No. I said
There's
some
nothing
people
that guarantees
look
that.
at Rihanna.
Unless you're telling them
I was
to
gonna-
sign a
I was-
contract
I was-
that says so.
I was gonna
Look
bring
at
up.
Rihanna.
I was gonna bring up Rihanna herself.
She does check for Barbados.
She does come
She-
well.
Hold on,
She does
pause.
come.
Let us do talk about Rihanna, because none of Rihanna's team is from Barbados. None of Rihanna's money for the first 10 years that she was famous went to Barbados.
It doesn't matter what it was.
That
10
does
years,
make a difference.
20 years.
It does.
I know it doesn't happen though.
At
If she
the at the
decided in the
most.
20th year
But
that
how
she
do you
wanted
guys
to
know
donate,
that she wasn't giving money to Barbados?
She doesn't even
all I
live in
know is that
Barbados.
she
But how do you guys
does.
know that?
Because that's the Barbadians are quite upset
But
about that.
one thing though, it wasn't about Beto production that put her on. It was Jay-Z and American. So
Very
you guys
true.
think
Yeah.
that
Very
her
true.
first earnings would be able to return back.
Well, you
But
don't
actually,
even know what's
being
on
that
inside
you
the book.
deal with someone in music,
Exactly.
you have any feedback? Or you,
But
you,
But to speak a little bit more on top of, because I watched a whole Barbados debate about this whole thing, and Barbados, the tourism department
Yeah.
used to put Rihanna on all these platforms. She used to sing in all these hotels, and they used to pay for her to perform in the States. They used to pay to have these artists come down so that they would do shows here, and then they would hopefully collab. And I don't know if that is what related to that Jay-Z thing,
thing?
but it definitely helped her substantially,
Yeah,
and they
get
invested a
exposed.
lot. And Rihanna was a rare case. She made it to worldwide kind of thing. But if you look at that kind of investment and putting money into that, it's hard to see how the whole thing is.
Well, like I said, it would be the goodness of that person's heart.
yeah.
When you got certain people.
Yeah, but
certain places.
But that's just a little
There's a
taste.
possibility
Yeah, we
that
ain't want
it
to
could
kill it.
happen.
Yeah, we ain't want to kill it. The debate. We gotta save something for next Tuesday, for the Tuesday next show. We want to thank you guys so much for coming out. It's been a great discussion. Are you had a good time? Are you had a good time? Beautiful, beautiful. I'd like to thank you all. One Anguilla, you want to give the last little plug? One Anguilla? One Anguilla, you? One Anguilla, you. Come on, John. If you're a young person, get involved. Check us out. Look for us on Facebook. Send a message. We are very open and inviting. We thank you guys so much for listening, tuning into us on this Tuesday. We hope you have an amazing holiday season.
Yes,
Have a good
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry season's greetings. I hope you get everything that you have want on your list.
I know,
Naughty
right?
and nice, naughty and nice.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I ain't getting nothing this
Not
morning.
a thing.
The place dry.
Enjoy your National St. Martin Day tomorrow. National St. Martin Day. That's always something that irked me, On Separation Day, everyone in Anguilla gone to Martin.
Yeah.
Supposed to be celebrating Anguilla, but gone
We
to
can't
Martin.
even talk about the fact that nobody even said nothing about celebration day. No celebrations
Yes,
happen. Nothing happened about
Yeah,
celebration.
that's
Yeah, Celebration Day, if you don't celebrate it like that. It's always everybody just going to
That's an
Martin.
important day though.
See the
That's
thing?
a very important
It's a very
day
important
in the
day.
history
Well,
of the
day.
revolution of Anguilla.
Yeah. But that's kind of one of the things is it's always been going to Martin. This is the week you get a day off just the a week before Christmas. You go to Martin, you get your thing, you're there.
Yeah.
But so be safe if
I
you're
say this
traveling.
as my last. Anguilla need to stop taking Anguilla for granted. Anguillan people are taking Anguilla for granted, and you're just proving it by saying what you just said. And I keep saying it, and I say that because we're too apathetic, and we're taking everything for granted. And I'm talking to my young people, I'm talking to the in-between people, and I'm talking to the older heads too.
Alright, if that don't put you in the Christmas chair, I don't know what will.
You know what I mean?
I want to have a good night, everybody. Thank you again so much for tuning in. If you missed out the earlier part of the show, we are on Facebook Live and YouTube. It will be available in about an hour or so. You can go back and you can start it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So if you catch if you missed the beginning part, please do. Even though the live won't be going, drop a comment, like, share. It helps a lot. We want to start to see. We want to get into the 70 digits. We're around 50 right now. We thank you guys so much for it. But we're gonna have a good night. You guys, one more time, have a great season from us here. We hope you have a great night.
Perfect.
That's a good closing. Yeah, Jimmy.
Ain't have that. Only that pure from the I took it back.
Are you still on level?
You sound like?
Yeah.
I have to say,
I took it back from somewhere.